Have you just taken a huge loss this week?
We will have taken some loss. Yeah, the last 6 months has been crazy. It started in September. Crazier than ever.
Crazier than ever.
Bigger.
I have come all the way up north to the rather quite beautiful, actually, scenes of Blackpool Pleasure Beach to meet none other than Chards coin and bullion dealer, who are one of the biggest and best bullion dealers here in the UK. They have brought me up to have a look around their site to see what it's like to actually be a bullion dealer here in the United Kingdom. I have been promised a tour of their vaults. I don't know how much I'll be able to film and show you, but it's going to be an exciting day. We're going to ask them what it's like to be a bullion dealer in this market, certainly with the crazy fluctuations in price for gold and silver at the moment. Filming on the Monday where prices really collapsed for gold and silver. So it will be an interesting time to ask them how that's affecting their business. And to also speak with the owner, Lawrence Chard, the man, the myth, the legend. So join me as we head on over to Chards to find out what it's like to be a bullion dealer in this crazy market. Hello everybody, Backyard Bullion here. Welcome to, I think, probably the best precious ramble that you might hear on this channel, because I am not alone in my ramblings today. I'm here with Lawrence from Chards. How you doing?
I'm doing very well.
Look, and it is us. We're both here with the hands.
Does my voice volume match yours for the sound? Are we okay?
Probably. I think we're okay. We'll find out when I do the editing on this. But we're doing the hands only.
Yeah.
Normally you're on camera and I'm not, and I thought,
yeah,
we're just going to do the hands, and we're going to have precious metal ramble. I've got some questions from YouTube and the Silver Forum to ask you. We'll get to those in a bit. But first up, thanks for having me here.
You're welcome. It's a real pleasure to see you again.
Yes.
You reminded me today, well, I said it, I think it's the second time we've ever met up.
Second time that we physically met up. I came to Blackpool like 3 years ago, and we've done a couple of video conference chats in the past as well. So, but yeah, it's really, I mean, great going into London, but to come here is something pretty special because we get to see your vault, and that was pretty mad. And all the other things. Yeah,
well, I like it that you can come here and see a lot of stuff because, as you know, in Hatton Garden, we only have a limited stock.
Yes.
We might send a couple of pieces down there for you to go and have a look at. But I mean, I've only been to Hatton Garden to our office there, I think, 3 times.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's great to have the office in London, but it fits a different purpose to, I think, the sort of headquarters here, because this is the heart, the beating heart of the Chards empire, as we can call it.
Yeah.
And honestly, for you guys watching, I don't know exactly what date we're going to publish this interview, but we're filming on the Monday of the week where silver went down and gold quite a lot.
What's the date today? It is 23rd
of March. So tell the good people as much information as you want about how it's been to be a bullion dealer over the last few months. And then this morning, it was quite a busy morning, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So
yeah, the last 6 months has been crazy. It started in September.
Yeah.
And we were managing that just about. And then October, it went absolutely bonkers stupid.
Yeah.
And we used to having spikes because we've seen a few.
Yeah.
And I was in one back in the 1960s that stopped abruptly in 1966 because the government said, no gold.
They banned gold for people.
Yeah.
You had a license to own it, didn't you?
Yeah. Till, I think we started it on April the 1st, which is interesting. I could be wrong.
Ironic date to start it.
Yeah. Then they canned it in 1971, so we could get started again selling gold. And gold sovereigns are our most popular coin, numismatically and bullion-wise.
Yeah.
And always have been. Forget about Krugers, they were a little passing fad.
They were the king of bullion coins at one point in the world before.
Yes.
Everything took up a bit more in the mainstream.
Yeah, they were simple.
Yeah.
It was 1 ounce of pure gold.
Yeah.
Well, 1 ounce of fine gold contained within the 22 karat gold coin. And they were marketed heavily and were sold at very low premium.
Yeah.
When Krugerrands came out in 1967, I have tried to reconstruct the premium of sovereigns because we didn't tend to work on a percentage premium in those days.
Yeah.
But I think at one stage the premium on sovereigns in the wholesale market was about 40%.
Gosh, wow.
So worth faking,
Yeah,
even if you put full weight of gold on.
yeah.
A lot of
And
people don't realise.
you know your way around a few fakes. I've seen your fake cabinet down in the showroom. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
So needless to say, in 60 plus years of business, you've seen it all. You've seen the spikes, you've seen the lows. How does the market in this last 3-4 months compare to all of those other ones? Is this bigger, better, wider?
Crazier than ever.
Crazier than ever.
Bigger. And what we did in the last couple of times when it was stupidly busy, we were putting pop-ups on our website on some products.
Yeah.
To say, look, this product is not in stock, there is a weight on it, we can't tell you what the weight is, please, click here if you still want to go ahead on understanding.
But understand that
go away if you don't, and don't order.
Yeah.
And this time, we didn't go in as heavily, we just put notices there saying, look, we're very busy, here's an operational update, we're 4 to 6 days. At one stage, we were up to about 10 days to ship in, and about 5 days to even phone people back or answer emails.
Yeah.
So, of course, we were getting people, this is ridiculous, it's not good enough.
Wow. And so for those of you in the camera watching, I can't show you all of you've probably seen some B-roll footage that we've been sharing. I can't show you things like the vaults for obvious reasons, but Lawrence and I have walked around there. Even joked that he'd locked me in the room at one point. He was telling me there was an escape hatch, but it leads to a solid brick wall. But we talked with your pickers and packers down there, and some of them have been pulling shifts from 6 a.m.
Yeah.
But you guys have been working super hard, and I think rightly so. The customers want to know they're going to get their gold and silver, but also you can't just overnight hire a whole bunch of new staff to do picking and packing, and the volumes that every bullion business has been experiencing over this last few months, it just can't be fixed overnight. So my message here is congratulations to you guys for A, the success of your business, and B, for handling the situation the way that you have. I know you take great pride in your customer reviews.
We try.
And I know also that you get a little bit irked by those that are a little bit unfair somewhat. But my message is that it's something that you guys should be immensely proud of, to be a part of this incredible market and community.
We are,
And that's incredible.
It's really good to hear somebody like you, who I have a lot of respect for,
thank you.
saying congratulations.
Congratulations.
Congratulations
and crazy. I like it.
Yeah. Because we had, we're digressing here, but we had a chat for 3 hours last night.
We did, yeah.
Which I really enjoyed.
Well, we should have almost turned the camera on and recorded the audio, because we could have talked for 3 days. Quite frankly.
Well, maybe 3 weeks.
I mean,
for longer next time.
I'd love. Honestly, I would love to, but with family and life, it's a bit complex.
Yeah.
But with the amount of experience that you've got, Lawrence, you're, to excuse the phrase, a gold mine of information for this industry and for numismatics, for bullion. It's just the amount of knowledge that you have and that you're imparting through your YouTube channel, through just everyday business stuff that you're doing is incredible. And to that end, I've got some questions here that we've harvested from people on some
I've seen
YouTube.
some of the questions. One guy on Silver Forum listed 20 questions.
He did. I have actually got 2 of his questions to ask you. So,
each of those might need a week's research.
They will. They might well do. So we'll try our best to be as speedy as we can through these questions. So first up, Kirby's Moonseeker on YouTube asks, will Chards always be there to buy back gold and silver? At what point, if any, might you envisage a time when it's too valuable to carry on as business, or too valuable to buy in, say, everybody's gold and silver? Is that a factor?
I'm going to try and stick around for as long as I can.
Yeah.
How long I've got, I don't know. I don't think I'll make another 25 years. I do want to be skiing when I get to 100, because that would be
impressive.
Nice record. And off-piste skiing, not just the soft stuff.
Yeah.
But nobody knows. None of us knows whether we're going to be here 5 decades, 5 years, 5 months, 5 weeks, 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I plan to be around.
Okay.
Our daughter Juliana, who you've met and spoken to and had quite a few deals with, was working with us, but her husband whisked her off to Dubai,
Sunnier plains and
and then Spain,
that's
because they just escaped a war zone.
yeah.
So she knows enough to take over.
Yeah.
Our son Duncan, you probably never met, but he's our secret weapon.
Okay.
He's brilliant on his knowledge of world affairs,
Yeah.
probably politics, whatnot, and economics.
Sure.
And if I want to know anything about the world situation, or I want to ask about sort of, excuse the language, Donald Trump, he will give an appraisal. Sometimes he's dismissive and said, well, you know, I'll just look it up anyway. Or why ask me that when you know? But he does have more in-depth
Yeah.
knowledge, and he does a lot of research.
Sure.
And lots of other amazing stuff that he comes up with as well.
Yeah.
That I've got time to do because I'm
So
too busy on the treadmill.
the message here, I guess, is that the future is still got shards in it,
Yeah,
and will be there
yeah,
from hell or high water as best as you can envisage.
yeah. Unless our questioner there can do anything about the people who give us 1-star and 2-star reviews.
Well, yeah.
On Trustpilot, in which case I might be here for, well, you know, if you can't do anything about those, I might go.
Indeed. Well, those I have.
Like
I've talked to you about them. I think they're a badge of honour sometimes, because if you get only negative reviews of people moaning about how Royal Mail have let you down, when that's nothing to do with you, that, in my opinion, is just saying that you're a good company and it's other people's problems. But
it is our fault, according to at least one, because we chose to use Royal Mail.
no,
I would argue that, well, no, we give the customers a choice. You can come and collect it,
yeah.
free of charge.
Oh, so you're bringing me on to my next question now.
We don't charge for postage if you come and collect it from Blackpool.
Uh-huh.
Might be different in Hatton Garden because you have to post it to there.
All right. Well, I'm gonna jump straight into the most difficult question of the day.
Okay.
Okay. From Olivard on the Silver Forum. When are you going to offer free postage?
That's an easy one.
Yeah.
Hopefully never.
Hopefully never.
No.
We joke about this, don't we? Because
Yeah.
there is no such thing, and we're in agreement on that.
It's a mean joke.
It
It's basically it's a kind of confidence trick,
Yeah,
and it's deception.
it is a bit.
And that's because some newbies came in, and the only way they could or would do a bullion sort of business operation is by post.
Yeah,
In any case, otherwise, even if you're in London or Birmingham or the metropolis of the bullion business, Blackpool, you've only got a small number of customers who can and will come and visit
to pick
you
up, yeah.
for maybe an hour.
so it has to be factored in.
So if you want to be national, you probably have to do mail.
Yeah,
In which case, doing physical, showroom appointments and visits is probably a pain in the whatnot.
yeah,
So how do you get around that when people have to pay postage? You tell them it's free.
yeah.
So you lie to your customers, it isn't free.
It's all built into the margin.
Stupid, sad thing is that most people actually do know that, but they don't want to believe it.
No.
And critically, people tend to believe what they want to believe.
Yeah.
I would rather tell people the truth, and if they don't like it, they can
Shop elsewhere
yeah.
and
But
get
we're
that
thinking of
free postage from wherever they might want.
Well, I suggested before that we do a two-price thing. We offer our normal standard thing, not including postage,
Yeah.
and you pay extra for the postage, which we subsidise
Yeah.
quite heavily. Or you can pay about 2% or 3% or 4% more, and we'll throw in free postage.
Yeah.
It would mean a lot of programming, and people would go, oh, it's not work then. And some people would go for the free postage and then complain, ooh, you
But it
charged
costs
me
more.
more.
Yeah.
Well, yes.
Yeah, it's a funny old game, isn't it? So, right. Next question is from Paul, who contributed a whole bunch of questions. So thank you very much to Paul. But we don't have time to go through.
Thanks a
all of
bunch, Paul.
But I suppose we've sort of answered one of them, which was looking back over the 50 years, which has been the biggest shift. And I think we'd agree that maybe this last couple of months has been that biggest shift. So I'll go to his second question, which is, what is your typical customer? Is it a saver, stacker, collector? Are you seeing like flippers buying things to resell? What would you say is now the norm as a customer?
I could say it's an easy question to answer because I don't know.
Okay.
But equally, I could say very complicated question to answer, and I'd have to go and check some facts and figures and do some research. We do actually do some research. You actually saw over my shoulder some of our reporting system.
I did, yes.
It's in a lot more depth. There's about 50 different reports on there.
Okay.
And there's lots of pages and tabs on lots of them, so you can drill right down to all sorts of stuff, including customer profiles, etc.
Yeah.
But basically, almost anybody and everybody will get the little old lady that wants to buy some coin for a birthday gift for a grandchild or something like that.
Yeah.
And that's once every 10 years or once in a lifetime. We'll get investors who've got maybe £1 million or more to spend or to invest in bullion, mainly gold, but we also do silver. We've got stackers who are kind of... I still can't define stackers.
They're an animal unto their own right sometimes, aren't they?
A hybrid, some of them are collectors, some of them are preppers, some are actually numismatists.
I think you're actually describing me at this point, because I've gone through all of the phases. I think I've stacked, I've collected, I've got specialist numismatics, and
you buy things as gift.
And I buy things as gifts, so it is there for everything and everyone. Fascinating. We've got a really good question from Fragdad from YouTube, who says, and this is, I think, a really interesting one, because we talked about this a little bit last night. How do dealers make money when the markets rise and fall so dramatically? You don't have to go into all the ins and outs of the trade, but I think a lot of people would like to know, like this weekend, price dropped dramatically. You had a whole boatload of orders. Have you just taken a huge loss this week?
We will have taken some loss, but it won't be huge. In a way, we're probably a little bit like a casino or a bookmaker, because we can have good days and bad days.
Yeah.
And if you can't weather out the bad days, well, you shouldn't be in the business.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't close if you're having a bad one or whatever you want to call it. But it used to be until maybe 5 or 6 years ago that we actually ran our position, and by run it, I mean we just, if somebody sells us, £1 million for the gold, we've got it until we sell it.
Yeah.
Once we've sold it, that's straightened up our book.
Yep.
And any dealer, I'd say a market trader in a share or commodity or whatever, runs a book, which might be physical in the old days.
Yeah.
It was easier sometimes.
There's all big ledgers, I can imagine.
Yeah, well, just a notepad was good. We used to do that for Solvent and Krugers, and we'd keep a running total of how many we bought, sold in the day, what our stock balance is with every transaction.
Yeah.
Dead quick and easy. And that paid with Solvent, that paid with Krugers. More complicated now. So every trader has a kind of book and has that on every single product.
Yeah.
And you've got, if you like, an ideal stock that you might want.
Yeah.
And you've got a total amount of gold and a total amount of silver. For the past few years, we've been hedging.
Yeah.
And we also lease some gold.
Right.
The amount of gold we lease is quite small compared with our overall
holding
asset and asset value. So we're not highly geared.
Yeah.
And I've been informed by quite a few people in the last 6 months that some of our competitors are very highly geared, and that's giving them a problem.
Right.
And certainly if their loans are stated in pounds sterling or in dollars, and they're owning gold and the value's gone up.
All the currency fluctuations.
So we've seen some strange things happening that we didn't understand at the time.
Okay.
Now we know a little bit more.
Yeah.
It hardly bothers us because we don't owe, we don't owe somebody 10,000 ounces of gold, for example.
Yeah, yeah.
At the most, we might owe 1,000 ounces.
Sure.
And that's about it.
Still no small amount, but in the grand scheme of what certainly I've seen in your vaults.
Compared with what you had to step over to get into the vault.
Literally. I, as I said earlier, I would love to film and show you the entire vault, but for obvious security reasons we can't. But needless to say, it was an experience. I'm just going to leave it at that. You can imagine just how amazing it was.
Yeah, well, I was saying that it would be good to photograph some of those, but a lot of
They've got customer data on, and it's a bit difficult to do. We can only describe the vast sums that are in there, and you were saying to me that the strong rooms that you've got, the insurance value on them is sort of ask for what you need rather than a limit.
Yeah, well, it's not a limit. Well, you know the limits. The small one, 30 million.
Yeah.
But probably more if we wanted.
And that's the one you call the silver room.
That's the small one, yeah. The small stuff for the cheap stuff like silver.
The cheap stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the big one, strong rooms, say stuck from 0 to 6 in security grading. Strong rooms tend to go from about 6 upwards. Yeah. If you want something better than a 6, you get a strong room.
You get a strong room, yeah.
And they generally go up to 10. You've heard of tuning up to 11. Ours is at 12.
Well, there you go.
So it is that make and model has never been reached.
Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong, because the last time I was there, I seem to remember you telling me that you basically ended up building this building around the vault.
Yeah, we excavated the basement. There was a small cellar. It's on dry sand, so we excavated, we backfilled with reinforced concrete for the side walls. Yeah. And we went as far to the front of the building as we thought we needed and put them in there. Yeah. So that's where you want strong rooms, underground in a bunker.
Yeah, with reinforced concrete all around it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if somebody gets in there and makes away with what's in there, I think they've pretty much earned their payday, haven't they, quite frankly?
Well, we were told that don't ever lock somebody in, even jokingly. Yeah. Because if you can't unlock it, it would take at least 5 days to drill it out.
Wow, okay.
And bearing in mind, you probably got fumes and dust and dirt and noise. Yeah.
And not to mention that you'd die of thirst in 5 days before you go.
You wouldn't be in great shape.
No.
So it's Blackpool's most secure escape room.
I can imagine. Nobody will escape from it. That's very, very secure.
We didn't really answer that question, though.
No, okay. So
what we do is basically on gold, certainly, and on bullion in general, we trade the premium.
Yeah, okay.
So we look at what spot gold is at the minute and we deal around it. Yeah. So if gold was £3,500 an ounce exactly at the minute, we might be buying at 3,499 and selling at 3,505. Yeah. Or that's in pounds premium. We do it in percentage premium. Yeah, yeah. Crude oil's an example. For most of the last year, our buying-in price to anybody in any quantity for Kruger's has been 98% of gold of intrinsic. Yeah. And for most of the time, our selling price or asking price has been spot, so 0%. Occasionally, when demand's actually outstripped supply, we've crept that up to about 0.2 or 0.25%. Then we drop it back to 0. Yeah. Because we're getting too many people who are disposing of Kruger's and going into Britannias or sovereigns. Yeah. So it's that small margin that we work on.
It's making, I guess, in the simplest terms possible, it's sort of making the money that's coming back into the business, even though maybe it's not as much as obviously when gold's higher, but it's about how that money then works for you and how those percentages can best help mitigate some of those issues. And it's also worth mentioning that prices go down, but they also go up. So there might be weekends where you wake up on the morning and gold's gone up £200 an ounce, and the exact reverse happens. And over a long period of time, as long as the graph continues to go up, which gold tends to do over a long period of time, then that hedge works. But like you say, if you quit because you had a bad month as a bullion business, then you're not going to see that long-term gain.
No, well, I did know a fairly small dealer over in Yorkshire who set up quite a good business and he was doing quite well. But he said to me one day that he never sells anything at a loss, and he wouldn't ever sell anything at a loss. And yet, at some stages, he must have been holding gold or silver that he paid not too much for. He'd bought it at a price and then it had come down. So he wasn't selling, he was closing his shop. Yeah. You can't afford to do that.
No, you can't.
You take a loss, you carry on.
Exactly, and you need to, because like I said, that money will then work for you in other ways. So fascinating.
Another quick thing here.
Please.
Now, I don't know the years here, I'd have to check back and see. But there was at one stage this earlier in this century or millennium,
Yeah.
where we were, in theory, making about £1 million a year net profit,
Okay.
and we were using some conservative accounting
Uh-huh.
and making sure that we had everything down at the lowest of cost or market value, which is fair and legal and allowable. And then on something like the fourth or fifth year, on paper, we lost about £4 million.
Okay.
So a lot of the gains over 4 or 5 years just got wiped out, and that was on metal prices.
Yeah.
Since then, we use more hedging.
Yes, I can imagine. So,
But you can't cry about that.
no, it's part of the game. It's part of the business, and that's the price that you sort of have to embrace and pay to be in this business and be in this business for 60 plus years. I think that's what people need to also remember. Like you've been here, I think you're the longest surviving bullion.
I like the way you say surviving.
You're still here. I mean, but I mean, there might be companies that are still in existence that may have been here longer, but
we've got Q, say, established in 1556 or something.
As somebody who's come from humble beginnings selling pennies, you're now in this hundreds of millions of pounds a year of retail business. That's retail, not profits, Lawrence. I love you just to clarify that. But it's a staggering achievement, and it's been a real pleasure. Now we're going to have to look. We're in, what are we? 27 minutes in to our ramble. As I said at the beginning, we could sit here and talk for weeks, but we do have another video to film where you're going to turn the tables a bit, and you're going to talk to me a little bit about what it's like to be me, I think. And but I would love to do this again, because like I said, I think there's so much that we even haven't touched on in the world of bullion that we can't even do justice to in this kind of format of an interview. And maybe we should think about doing some more remote podcasts and things, or even coming back up here at some point. But
that's an idea, because I was going to say, what about the other 50 questions?
Well, I mean, there were loads, and we could, as I say, be here for a very long time. There's one last one I think I'm going to ask you to finish the video. If we can have a rather succinct video, because I'm also conscious of the fact I've only got 30 minutes left on my memory card, and we need to film another 30-minute video. So Mint Mark on the Silver Forum, to finish out this video, he's asking, do you think coin collecting is in decline?
No. I think if anything, it's growing.
Yeah.
It has changed.
Yeah.
And I think it's changed. I actually think, in one sense, it's not as good and it's not as much fun that it used to be when we had old money, pounds, shillings and pence. Because remember, old pennies were big.
Yeah.
Quite a large diameter. I don't remember how much, and I should know. And halfpennies were quite big. Farthings are smaller than some of the coins that people pay fortunes for now.
Yeah.
And silver certainly bits.
I mean, presumably you would even still get the old silver coins in your change every now and again. You could maybe find the value all the time. Like in America, coin roll hunting is still a huge thing, and now here we don't get that anymore.
Well, you know about 347 silver.
Yes.
Because 347 silver was 50% silver content, and 320 was 92.5%. There was still a big volume of that in. You could go through a bag of, in inverted commas, silver coins, and pull out something like 20% of it that was 347.
And now they're all gone, lost to modernisation.
All melted down. People still buy and sell it as a cheap way into silver, a cheap investment.
Which actually, I've sort of lulled us into a final last question, which was from Garfi67 on YouTube, which is your opinion on, he says 925 silver, but if we include all of these other lower purity stuff, so do you still think those are good things to accumulate and buy?
I don't really.
No.
Look, the hands have disappeared. How can I talk?
Well, I know.
Put the hands back in there.
Yeah.
Hang on.
There we go. We've got all the hands there. You'll recognise that it's me, because I've got the bloody great big bruise on my thumb now, which is going to be there for the next 6 months, I think.
What did you say when you hit it?
I said, well, I can't digest that on YouTube, although I probably could say it, because we're 30 minutes in now and it won't get demonetised. So I went, buggering hell.
That's not like.
It was ironic, because it was when I was making the 100,000 subscriber giveaway cube here. So this is all hammered and bang in. So
I once got a rolling mill handle on my toe, and it cracked me a big toenail. And you know, I said on that,
I can only imagine.
yeah, well, there was about a 10-second delay and made sure there were no customers around before I said it. But you can imagine, you can work it out. And the second word was off.
Yeah.
What was the question?
The question was less
yeah.
than pure, so 95, 50%. Is it worth getting at the moment?
It's problematic.
Yeah.
Also, now I think it's because it's demonetised, it's not legal tender.
Yeah,
so
it falls under
it
an
won't be capital gains tax, it'd be chattels.
There's a murky grey area as well. If you buy it specifically as an investment, maybe HMRC would shout at you. I don't know. It's
it's a bit messy now.
Yeah.
What was happening in the bunker hunt days and running up to that is people, things like meter emptiers and collectors, were knocking on people's doors in Liverpool and Manchester at 11 o'clock at night. Said, come to do your meter. Go away. Oh, it's got to be done. And they were doing it because they wanted to get the coins to get the silver out.
Amazing.
And we were doing, we were running around doing a ton and a half of P47 silver 2 or 3 times a week.
Wow. Okay.
And having to fly it out to the EU as it happens.
Yeah, because you can't melt it down here in the UK.
No, it's not legal to do that, and you couldn't export it, but it was legal within the EU.
Amazing.
So we found EU smelters and refiners who weren't too busy.
Amazing. Oh, how the world has changed.
Yeah.
God.
That was interesting days. And basically that was getting refined, turning into good silver, fine silver. You probably better off with some nice artifact like that, or a sterling silver coin that's capital gains tax free, or you probably know from my advice guide, gold is better to invest in.
Yeah.
You're a silver man.
Well, you say I'm a silver man in that I run a business that sells silver, but as an investor, I will always choose gold over silver. I think it's much better over a long period. And that, I think,
if you see 925 silver or 347 silver and you can buy it cheaply, does no harm to buy it and stack it up.
But be aware that when you come to sell it, it's going to either be difficult to sell at a high price, or you're going to have to accept that you're going to get significantly under melt price or the spot price to a bullion dealer, because all they can do is send it off for refining. So, I think with that, we're going to leave it there on this video. But Lawrence, it has been an absolute honour and a privilege, and massive thank you to you for bringing me up here to meet with you guys again and talk. And if you guys want to see, I suppose, the pseudo part 2 of this little chat with Lawrence, where they're going to turn the tables and have a little chat with me about what we've been up to, then make sure you subscribe. And we'll have a whole host of other bits and bobs of content from Chards as well coming out over the next few weeks. So
it's been brilliant and an honour for you to come up to see us.
And that's very, very kind of you. Thank you.
And the work you do on your videos and the amount of education and information you put out there, for not a lot of money, really.
No.
Most of it's for free.
Yeah. I've never shied away that this is a livelihood and a business, but ultimately it's a passion first.
Yeah, which is brilliant.
Yeah,
fantastic.
Well, thank you. That's very kind of you to say.
You know those little freebies you do in your videos?
Yes.
Why don't you do a thing to get a free postage voucher for
free
Chards?
postage
only for
coupon.
one person.
One
for the
person
video.
for this particular video.
Yeah.
So we're going to do a draw. So if you comment in this video,
free postage,
and I choose that person,
yeah,
you're going to honour that one free postage for someone. All right, you heard it here, guys. So comment down below for a chance to win mythical free, and that's worth more than anything. That's priceless. Let's be honest. Mythical free postage from Lawrence himself. All right, thank you all for watching. Subscribe for part 2. We'll see you on the next video. As always, make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe for more. The hands.
Watch these hands, folks.